Let's talk about missing weapons from Modern Warfare, some of your fears about engine changes in Warzone, and why some of you are going to wait for Call of Duty or Battlefield later this year. I'm joined here by Richie Bracamonte, and what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to look at your comments, broken into your hopes, your fears, and what some of you are going to do next. As always, if you guys like joining us for these Call of Duty chats, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Let's start off with your hopes. Now, many of you had comments that you're holding out hope that Modern Warfare will keep going, or at least there'll be some content added to Modern Warfare if you stick with it.
So we've got some user comments from our last video. Here's one from Gilly7 over on YouTube. He says, well, there's 3 weapons being added to Modern Warfare. I found the LMG in survival mode and the challenges to unlock it, but it makes sense that they're saving SOAP and the rest of the stuff for Modern Warfare 2 in 2022. And he's right. There are some unannounced guns that have made their way into survival mode, and you can find their challenges to unlock them. We don't know when they're officially going to come out, but they've been bugged into the game somehow. We've got a new LMG, the Scorpion returns, and the Psychov pistol. It's sort of weird how this is all happening and how it hasn't been patched. It's a sign of things to come, we're sure. We just don't know when the official announcement and the official rollout of these guns is going to happen. We have no idea.
It's interesting that those weapons are already in the game, which begs the question, like, when were they supposed to have been added to the game? Was this a bug or cut content from the end of the Modern Warfare seasons? Or was this something that they had intended to add at a future date and delayed? The other really big question is SOAP, right? So there was a cutscene at the end of the Modern Warfare storyline in Warzone where SOAP was like offshore and something was going badly, and it didn't seem like it was zombies when that cutscene happened, which is what's happening on the map now. So what's going on with SOAP?
McTavish to actual.
SOAP, what's your position?
Have a click off the coast. Things are really heating up out here.
Hold tight.
There was a SOAP operator bundle that sort of leaked, but it hasn't officially been rolled out, and the question is why? Like, what's the holdup? And it could be a factor of things, like they kind of want the zombies portion to cool off for a bit before they reintroduce SOAP in some sort of cool way. Or another rumor is the launch of Modern Warfare 3 Remastered. That would be a great time to launch the SOAP bundle, just like they did with Ghost and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered back in Season 2. So they could be holding out for that. It's kind of unfortunate that the guns haven't made their way into the game, but no SOAP operator bundle just yet. And we're all waiting.
He's gonna get away! No, he's not.
So it seems that some of you guys are concerned about the future of Cold War and how it will continue to take over Warzone. So over on YouTube, we've got another comment from Lauren Boy who says, I just don't want them to switch the Warzone engine because I love Modern Warfare's engine. And Aaron, I think you and I both agree that we do too.
Yeah, we saw this comment actually quite a lot in our last video, and I think I can put your mind to ease. It's not very likely that a game can switch engines. It's kind of not even physically possible a lot of times. So the way that game development works, like, you know, we spent years talking to developers, depending on the engine that they're using. For example, I'll use Battlefield because we cover a lot of Battlefield. So engines are math and science and duct tape. They don't work conceptually the way that you think that reality works. For example, in a game like Hardline, in order to let people lean out windows, they had to take up an animation slot, which is why they had to get rid of bipods on LMGs. So, you know, like, engines don't work within reality, and they are hard to change and almost impossible to change after a game has been released. Modern Warfare does, I would say, have a more advanced engine than Cold War. They were probably developed somewhere next to each other, and it was impossible for Cold War to switch later on. But you did see Cold War try and take on things that the Modern Warfare engine could do, like doors and armor and things like that, and it didn't quite work, probably because it wasn't natural to that engine when it started. So if you're concerned that the Cold War takeover of Warzone is going to lead to an engine change, I would say that's highly unlikely. What's more likely is that the next Call of Duty game will take the Modern Warfare engine and have a much smoother integration and hopefully be a little bit more, you know, well thought out than the way they just kind of jammed all this together. So I wouldn't worry about that one. And again, we saw a lot of people commenting this. I think if you like Modern Warfare and the way it feels, Warzone is going to stay that way for a long time.
So it's no small ask to switch to an entirely new engine, but there are some things that Cold War picked up that are cool and that would probably work really well over into Warzone. And the 2 things I'm thinking of specifically, Aaron, are swimming, because it's still so silly that you can't swim, you just die. And also the field of view slider. There have been, you know, countless people asking for it. And since Cold War can do it, it'd be cool to see, you know, Warzone try it out. Like, I think, you know, PC's already got that down, no problem. But for everyone else, it's hard to go back to something like a regular field of view when you have the extended field of view in Cold War. It's been a great addition, and I'd love to see that in Warzone. I think you would too, Aaron.
Yeah, also, like, the boundaries that are drawn around Verdansk are weird, and they're weird because of water. And you really notice it, like, when you're trying to parachute to the zombie ship now, and you get out over water, you get out of bounds and you potentially die. I'm assuming that is because you can't swim currently with a Modern Warfare engine. I've even occasionally had someone in Warzone try and murder me by driving a car into the ocean, so it'd be nice if I could swim.
I think that's happened to all of us.
Okay, so here's the other thing about your fears about what's happening to Warzone right now. I don't know if Warzone can pull off like this hastily what it seems to be doing from Treyarch's influence. So the zombie event right now is odd. Like, there was a tease recently that the zombies were spreading, but then nothing really happened for a week, and they're infecting the gulag now. And they also did things that say it was done hastily to me on the map, such as they closed all the subways on the map during the zombie outbreak, but it would have been so much better if they'd done the opposite of that. What if they had opened the subways and infested them with zombies? And, you know, like, Richie, you and I were talking about this yesterday, the zombies were like getting electrocuted on the tracks, and
yeah,
that would have been so much more exciting of an event. And we've had better. Like, the Haunting of Verdansk was all over the map and had so many amazing locations. And since we've had better, and now we're seeing this ship crash and like a fairly minimal thing happening, it makes me wonder how long it's going to take for this event to build up to something larger. Again, like, we're early and it might happen, but I'm starting to question whether it's going to be as big, or whether the nuke is even at the end of the season. Like, what if we're still a couple seasons out from the nuke? The nuke's been supposed to happen for a while now. Like, I'm weirdly less concerned this week about the Cold War takeover, just because it doesn't seem to be having as large of an impact as it could have right now.
I agree. They've been holding this nuke event out for way too long, and tomorrow, at the time of recording this video, tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary. So something's got to give. The event's going to be over. That's one thing, but, you know, let's see. Here's to a big change to Verdansk. You know, let's put all the cards down. You know, see. I'm excited to see what's happening if something happens.
So the next thing we'd like to talk about is like a lot of our top comments when we're still kind of on the fear side of things is about greed. And like, understandably, I think a lot of people question Activision. So this comment by Kenneth905 was, "This is exactly why COD needs to stop being an annual franchise. But Activ Blizzard only cares about money, so..." Yeah.
So
yeah, this also ties back into some interesting points that have been made by other YouTubers about the missing weapons in Modern Warfare. So the theory was they started scattering these missing weapons on the ground, or other weapons on the ground of Warzone, to get you to want to go to the store and buy them. So here's what I have to say about that. Vote with your wallet. I think people have heard this a million times, but there was some great news recently where EA, not the company that makes this, but EA, who's very notorious for this stuff, basically just gave their own developers free reign to make the next Titanfall or make the next Dragon Age without their sort of overbearing business practices. And that's because a lot of you didn't buy those games, or a lot of you had backlash against Battlefront 2. So I would say definitely vote with your wallet. I haven't had any motivation to buy anything from the Call of Duty store since Cold War took over. If you don't engage with the store right now, or you just engage with the Modern Warfare store, you're making it pretty clear to them that you just want Modern Warfare and you don't want Cold War. I know it's cliche, but vote with your wallet on these ones. The one catch to that is don't be a dick. You know, like, being firm but friendly in life will get you very far. You know, don't go harass devs or be a jerk to anybody. You know, they work really hard on these games too.
So those were some of your fears about the future of Warzone and Cold War. Let's talk about some of those people who are just moving on. We've got a comment here from Dylan who says 2 to 3 years and another new Modern Warfare. That one kind of stings because Aaron and I both love 2019 Modern Warfare for sure. And the cycle goes on. You know, this past year was Cold War. This year is supposed to be Sledgehammer. We're not sure how this is going to go down. You know, it could be any time period. They can make a sequel to their World War II game. They can make a sequel to Advanced Warfare. They can do something new, but that's just how the cycle goes. And we're not sure what's going to happen next, but we will find out soon enough.
So the other side of that is Battlefield. A lot of you said, you know what, that's cool. Modern Warfare drew me in because I'm a Milsim fan. I'm gonna wait for the next Battlefield. So some of the comments along that lines were, Dark Titan said, say hello to Battlefield 6. Fingers crossed that they don't F it up. I want 2011 era Battlefield greatness. You know, I'm going to tie this into another comment here and then we'll talk about it. This individual with a long string of numbers I will not attempt to pronounce said, good video. Keep up the good work. I love these kinds of videos. Also, can you guys talk about Battlefield 6 having 3 studios working on it? What that's referring to is Battlefield's being developed by DICE LA, DICE Stockholm, and now Criterion has been brought in. But I think what both of these comments are getting at is also fears about Battlefield. Like, you know, Battlefield has been in various states in the past. Battlefield 4 launched pretty rough. Here's what I have to say about the new Battlefield. It seems like it's going to have a modern setting, and a lot of the things that attracted you to Modern Warfare will attract you probably to this Battlefield. Bringing in Criterion is a little bit of a mixed message. I can't take credit for all these thoughts on my own. I was watching a little bit of Westy's videos, who covers a lot of Battlefield. So my perspective on Criterion is that they did an incredible job on the Battlefront series, particularly in the controls of the game. Like, they're so good at vehicle controls. They're really good at air controls. They did an X-Wing VR game. So if Criterion is coming in to help them with the vehicle controls of their game, that's exciting. And some of you pushed back on that when I said it before, because you really do like Battlefield's controls. What I have to say about that is the controls are hard to learn, but if you master them, you're going to be really, really good. There just aren't a lot of good people who fly in Battlefield because they're tough. And Criterion can fix that. What Westy was saying was that Criterion might just be, you know, getting brought in as just, you know, hands to help DICE Stockholm finish it. And it sounds like DICE LA is mostly working on their live game aspect of it. So it seems like Stockholm does still have a lot of control over this project. DICE LA's had to bail them out in the past. The other thing Criterion helped on was with Firestorm. So there's like this even other option that they're just basically helping them finish up their battle royale, which hopefully won't be, you know, locked behind a paywall this time. So there's a lot going on there. Like, there's a lot of hope that a Battlefield will come out later this year, and the Modern Warfare players who don't like Cold War style can gravitate to that. And there's mixed messaging going on. Basically, DICE saying that Battlefield's in a fantastic place, but also, oh my God, we need more people to help us come in and finish it. So
good luck with that. I would say it's a good sign that they're getting help in any way they can get it. They need help. They need support. They need people working on it. Make it the best game they possibly can. And it's cool. We'll be able to live in a world with you know, Battlefield and Call of Duty once again. I mean, not that stopped happening, but this last year has just been Warzone. You know, like it's hot right now.
Yeah, so there's a lot of possibilities this year. And I'm very hopeful because you can stick with Modern Warfare, some people said in the comments. You can keep playing Warzone and kind of hope that changes don't take over too much and that there's still content for Modern Warfare to come. Or you can, you know, jump ship to Battlefield when that comes out, hopefully at the end of this year, early next year. Or, you know, you can wait for that next Modern Warfare title. Again, like, you're going to have a lot of options, and we'll keep covering all these games as they come out. We're expecting some big reveals this spring, and we're going to have a much better idea, and you'll have a much better idea of what you want to do after watching those. So head on over to GameSpot, head on over to GameSpot's YouTube page, and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to let us know that you're enjoying what we're doing. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.